Welcome back to Mrs. Steiner Reads. This is episode 4. We've done 3 other episodes, so if you didn't see those, make sure you go back and watch them because you have missed some great books. Now today we're going to talk about one of my favorite characters. Now I know I say favorite a lot and you're thinking, lady, you say that all the time. But it's true. I have a lot of favorites and I want you to have a lot of favorites too. But this character, I like her so much that a few years ago, I actually dressed like her for Halloween. Here she is. This is the old lady from To Market to Market. She doesn't even really have a name. Isn't she pretty? Okay, so maybe she's not the prettiest, but she sure looks like the sweetest, doesn't she? So a few years ago, I actually dressed like her for Halloween. Okay, you want to see? Okay, here's her. Here's me. Don't I look just like her? Okay, so this book is one of my favorite books, of course, and it's To Market to Market. And if you haven't read it, it's a different take of To Market to Market. I know you think you know the story, but really you don't. In this one, she ends up with a duck on her head. That's funny. Okay, so this character is written by Janet Stephens, but she shows up in a lot of books written by different people. This one is written by Anne Miranda, but the one that I'm going to read you today is actually written by Colleen Sally. Now, rumor has it, if you do a little research, that this old lady is based on the real Colleen Sally. Colleen Sally and Janet Stephens are friends, and rumor has it that this is what Colleen Sally looks like. And if you look her up on the internet, she looks a lot like this lady. So when you're looking at books that Janet Stephens has illustrated, always make sure and look for the old lady because she hides her a lot. Now, I know I say I've got a lot of favorites, but guys and girls, Appossomondus, it's like maybe my second favorite of all time. This one is really a good one, so I hope you love it. It is called Appossomondus, written by Colleen Sally, illustrated by Janet Stephens. Now the title page, oh, you got to see this page first. Look at this. See that page? Pies, right? Beautiful pies. Appossomondus. Now look right here. This book's won an award. It won the Arkansas Diamond Award in 2004. We talked about a Diamond Award before. We read this year's when we read Madeline Finn and the Library Dog. This book was also an Arkansas Diamond winner. And here we go. Appossomondus was his mama's and his auntie's sweet little patootie. They just loved him to death. Appossomondus used to go see his auntie most every day, and she nearly always gave him something to take home with him. One day, she gave him a piece of rich gold cake. Appossomondus took it in his hands, scrunched it in his hand up tight, and went along home. On his way home, he passed Alligator, and Alligator asked, "What you got, Appossomondus?" "Cake," he replied. Don't look much like cake to me," said Alligator. When Appossomondus got home, his mama looked at that fistful of crumbs and she said, "Appossomondus, what do you have in your hand?" "Cake, Mama. Auntie gave it to me." "Oh, Appossomondus, you don't have the sense you were born with. That's no way to carry cake. The way to carry cake is to put the cake on your head, put a hat on your head, and come along home. Do you hear me, Appossomondus?" "Yes, Mama." Well, by and by on another day, when Appossomondus was visiting his auntie, this time she gave him a pound of freshly churned butter to take home with him. Appossomondus put it on his head, put a hat on his head, and went along home. On his way home, he passed Raccoon, and Raccoon asked, "What you got, Appossomondus?" "Butter," he replied. Don't look much like butter to me," said Raccoon. When Appossomondus got home, his mama looked at him and she said, "Appossomondus, what do you have in that hat?" "Butter, Mama. Auntie gave it to me." "Oh, Appossomondus, you don't have the sense you were born with. That's no way to carry butter. The way to carry butter is to wrap it up in some leaves and carry it down to the brook. And you cool it in the water, and you cool it in the water, and you cool it in the water, and then you take it up carefully in your hands and you come along home. Do you hear me, Opossumandus? Yes, Mama. Well, by and by on another day, when Opossumandus was visiting his auntie, this time she gave him a sweet little puppy dog to take home with him. Oh no, do you know what's gonna happen? So Opossumandus wrapped it up in some leaves and carried it down to the brook. And he cooled it in the water, and he cooled it in the water, and he cooled it in the water, and then he took it up carefully in his hands and went along home. On his way home, he passed Nutria, and Nutria asked, "What you got, Opossumandus?" "A puppy," he replied. Don't look much like a puppy to me," said Nutria. And when Opossumandus got home, his mama looked at that poor little bedraggled puppy and she said, "Opossumandus, what do you have in your hands?" "A puppy, Mama. Auntie gave it to me." "Oh, Opossumandus, Opossumandus, you don't have the sense you were born with. That's no way to carry a puppy. The way to carry a puppy is to put the puppy on the ground, tie a piece of string around the puppy dog's neck, and take the piece of string and come along home. Do you hear me, Opossumandus?" "Yes, Mama." Well, by and by on another day, when Opossumandus was visiting his auntie, this time she gave him a freshly baked loaf of bread to take home with him. Opossumandus put the bread on the ground, tied a piece of string around it, took the other end of the string, and went along home. On his way home, he passed Armadillo, and Armadillo asked, "What you got, Opossumandus?" "Bread," he replied. Don't look much like bread to me," said Armadillo. When Opossumandus got home, his mama looked at that thing on the end of the string and she said, "Opossumandus, what do you have on the end of that string?" "Bread, Mama. Auntie gave it to me." "Oh, Opossumandus, Opossumandus, you don't have the sense you were born with. You never did have the sense you were born with. You never will have the sense you were born with. Now, I'm not telling you any more ways of bringing truck home, and I don't want you going to see your auntie either. I'll go see her myself." And Opossumandus' mama got her basket, but before she left, she said, "Opossumandus, do you see those 6 pies cooling there on the porch?" "Yes, Mama." "Well, Opossumandus, you be careful about stepping on those pies." Then Mama went off to see Auntie. And then Opossumandus was careful about stepping on those pies. He stepped right in the middle of every one. Oh no, that's not what she meant, is it? She meant be careful about stepping on those pies. She was saying, don't step on the pies. But Opossumandus, was like, I'll be careful about stepping on the pies. And he was careful. He stepped right in the middle of every one. Now I want you to look at the back. Look at the back. Oh, see that? In the beginning, it had the pies that were pretty, and at the end, it had the pies that Opossumandus stepped in. I think that's pretty clever that when the illustrator does stuff like that, they give you little fun clues at the end, and at the beginning, that's fun. Okay, so what'd you think, Opossumandus? I know, you're thinking to yourself, oh, Opossumandus, Opossumandus. Has your mama ever gotten frustrated with you like that? I bet so, my mama has. And but have you ever brought a puppy dog home all wrapped in leaves after you cooled him in the water and cooled him in the water? I hope not. And I hope you learned from Opossumandus all the ways to not bring stuff home to your mama. I hope you love this book. This one was Opossumandus, written by Colleen Sally and illustrated by Janet Stephens. Janet Stephens is an author on her very own too, so maybe someday soon, hint, hint, we might read a Janet Stephens book. Okay, so that's the end of this episode of Mrs. Steiner Reads, and so now I'm going to give you your homework. Here's your homework. First of all, you need to hit the bell on this video. You know what that will do? Well, apparently that'll tell you every time I post a new video. So how great is that? You won't miss any episodes of Mrs. Steiner Reads. Next, you need to like this video and you need to subscribe to my channel. That would really make me happy. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Mrs. Steiner Reads. Okay, so thanks for tuning in to episode 4 of Mrs. Steiner Reads, and I hope to see you soon. Bye! All right, I hope you love this book. This one is Epaminondas illustrate. I hope you guys are having a great day, and let's see, like me on, okay, like me on Twitter. All right, so I have, tie a piece of string around the pup. Bye. Sorry about the ending there.